Kom met jy ophou, okay?
En dis vir 'n goeie rede. Laat ek langer kan lewe. Kom ons begin.
Okay. Good day South Africa, goeiedag South Africa, de belang South Africa. Welcome to episode 3 of DissectWithLem. A lot to get into. Before we get to that, let's just introduce Hannes. How are you?
Lem, I'm great. How's things on your side? It's been an exciting episode, a lot to discuss.
No, definitely been a lot to discuss. I must say, I like the Martinez support where you're garnering at the moment with that suit you're wearing.
You know what, Lem? The irony is many people think and they tweet us and they think we are professional bloggers, but you know, back in the real life, we also have a day job and bills to pay. Like I said earlier today, it's been a busy week. I only just actually got home to do all of the things. So yes.
No, I agree. But like you said, we've got a lot to get into. I think let's just start at the beginning. Yeah, a lot to get into this episode. The first thing I want to discuss is we had this challenge. We just, jumping in right, deep diving this episode. We've got a lot to discuss. The first thing I want to discuss is we've had an exciting episode, a lot happening. The first challenge we had Palisa and Varner, going for the idols. Where do you weigh in on what do you think the play was with those respective people in getting the idols?
Look, a few things. With regards to the immunity idol, you can always go for the idol and sacrifice your team. Now, indirectly, that is what Varner did. Varner purposefully jumped off the balancing beam and he went for the idol. We can discuss that strategy and the consequences later. I think it was a smart play. Palesa, on the other hand, saw the idols. She saw that other people in the team also saw the idol, discussed it, and she didn't do anything. She was extremely reactive, and now she doesn't have the idol. Tom, Shanae, and the caterer lady, they now have the idol.
The caterer lady, known as Anneliese.
And Anneliese, they now have the idol within their alliance. So I think Palesa didn't play that too smart. From Euro last week with a great game plan, this week, I won't say down in the dumps, but not a brightest moment.
No, definitely. I think, look, people are very high on Palesa. I don't know if a lot of you listeners are following, but people are very high on Palesa on social media, okay? But to your point, I think... and this just shows the alliance that Tom and Shanae have, because we can get into the technicalities of whose idol is it, but I think the rules say if you get the idol, it's in your possession. And Tom saying, hey Shanae, there's the idol there, below you, just go down and get the idol. Shanae getting it and actually giving it back to Tom. I think it shows, a lot of these people say, I'm in an alliance, but Tom and Shanae, they voted together twice, once successfully, once unsuccessfully. It shows the caliber of their trust in their alliance, and she's actually, went and say, hey Tom, I'm going to give you his idol back. And Tom's now in possession of an idol. Do you think this is good for his game?
Look, it can't be bad for your game if you have the idol. Like I mentioned last week, same with the condoms, rather have it and not need it. Tom now has the idol, or if he doesn't have it, de facto it is within his alliance, which now includes Shanae, very strong relationship between the two of them, and of course Anneliese. So it is something, it's an asset they can use to their advantage.
Definitely, and later in this podcast we'll get back to why it's a good podcast, but we're not going to spoil it now, you have to listen to the end. Honest, that brings us to the second point. Varner actually making this heroic, I don't call it heroic, but open-sided move. Everybody sees him, there's a spotlight zooming in on him, he's just jumping down, swimming out, getting the idol. Do you think this was a good move on his part?
For me personally, I don't think so. The reason I say that is the following. His tribe now lost their first challenge. They did not yet receive the tree mail for the immunity challenge. They were still safe for all practical reasons. So there was no tribal council looming, nothing like that. I would have personally kept that card and my cards generally closer to my chest, and then when the going gets tough, then you can reveal that information. That would have been my strategy. I did not like that Varner just came out of the blocks and say, listen here is the immunity idol. What's your take on it, Lem?
And I just want to clarify, do you think he should have made a move? And I want to ask you, after he's made the move, now 3 or 4 people seeing he made the move, went down, grabbed the idol. Do you think he should have divulged the information, or do you think he should have just said, listen, I fell down, it is what it is?
I would have said, just say I fell down, it is what it is, in the sense that you can always plant some reasonable doubt in someone else's head. I mean, yes, it is a challenge. Certain people say they saw Varner jump off the balancing beam. It might be so, it might not be so. Tomorrow evening, when they're discussing strategy in their alliances, whatnot in camp, you don't necessarily remember what everyone did at the camp, and Varner just spins another story to create that doubt amongst his other tribe members. So I think Varner did not play that smartly.
Yes, I agree. I think he made a bit of a mistake. I mean, no, I disagree. I don't think he made a mistake. I think he made the right thing in when he, I want to say, got caught with his hand in a cookie jar, going back to the alliance, saying, listen guys, I got an idol. It's ours, this idol is for a Mindanao member, but it's in I'm custody and I'm the owner of it. So I think, looking onwards 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 votes ahead, he's portrayed himself as the honest guy. He's going to say, listen, I found the idol, but I let you know about it, so everybody knows I have it. If you take the inverse of that, if he said, no, it's not an idol, and then someone suddenly plays, people are going to be like, hey, Varner, you were lying. I think now Varner's playing this, I always want to call it the King of the Hill, the hero kind of game, where you say, I'm playing the straight up game, I'm not going to lie to you. And I think this is right up his wheelhouse. And you say he did not make a mistake. You say he made a mistake. I say he made the right decision. People can let us know down below in the hate slate whether they believe or not. I think it was the right decision. But let's not cry over spilled milk. We'll see how it goes. You have anything to weigh in on here, or can we continue?
Yes, on the hate slide down below, if you're following us on YouTube, DissectWithLem. In the alternative, you can reach out at Twitter. I'm at JHLerm, Lerm. And Lem, what is your Twitter handle, especially for the English people?
I thought we were leaving Twitter handles on the end, but we can give him now. My handle is at D_Lem, or your English at Die_Lem. We're just going off script now. Hannes, you said you were not impressed by the strategy of some of the players. Can you give us some more information why you think some of the players did not make such strategic moves tonight?
A few players which really came up. A few players which I want to discuss. Firstly, PK, my man. I just want to say before you go on, Hannes has PK as his winner pick, so that's why he says his man. I had Neil as my PK pick, so he's not in the game anymore. Luckily, you still have your guy. Yes, I'm winning the mini battle here between myself and Dilem. So PK went, and with the information he got about the all-girl alliance or the female alliance within the Mindanao tribe, went to all of the ladies and asked them, listen, what's the deal with this? Why do you divulge that information at such an early stage? Again, there was no threat of immediately being voted off. It was still early within the round's play, so to speak. There weren't even a reward challenge yet, no immunity challenge. Why don't you keep the cards and the information which you have close to your chest? PK played it bad there.
I agree with you, and a lot of people, when you watch US Survivor, New Zealand, whatever, international African Survivor, what is the most valuable commodity you have? People will say, no, it's food, it's immunity idols, it's having money in your bank account. That's not the most important asset you have. The most important commodity, and that's advice to all you future Survivor players, is information. If you've got information about what everybody's doing, you're in the pound seats. PK had this information. He could have just, like you say, keep it close to his chest. What did he do? He went and said, you know what? Knock knock, bing bing bing. Hello. I know it's Sunday morning. I want to ask you, are you part of the all-female girls alliance? No, I'm not. Okay, thank you. Bye bye. And then he goes to next door, knock knock, and he goes repeating that to all 5 ladies. And instead of keeping that information to himself, he has divulged to all 5 of the girls that he has information of the all girls alliance. And I think that's just that's not good gameplay at all.
Immediately, it throws the apple cart. It throws the apple cart, into pieces. And yes, I gooi die apple karretjie om. So yes, I didn't think PK played that well. Let's discuss Katinka. What's your take there?
Look, I think we don't want to get personal, but I don't think Katinka knows what game show she's on, and the same can be said on Martinez. I think Katinka thinks she's playing Keeping Up with the Survivors. And likewise, I think Martinez is on an investigate. Everything has to be black or white. There's no gray areas. So
and
definitely, I think there's been some smart gameplay, especially by somebody with the likes of Tevin. I think he made some excellent gameplay today.
Tevin, in my opinion, at the moment, I see as the strongest player. One of the key Survivor things is you don't want to be the leader of the pack, but at the same time, you don't want to be the weakest member. If there is 6 people, you want to be number 3 or number 4, preferably. So they don't see you as a threat, so they vote you out. They don't see you as the weakest player who will hold the tribe back with challenges. Devin, I think, is in the middle. He's blending in well. He's having good personal relationships. He's playing. He's an expert chess player, and I think Devin will make it very far. I think he's also a very good position at the moment as we speak.
I agree. One thing I want to add about Tevin. Tevin is one of those people, in technology we call it, he's an early adopter. He's ahead of a curve. He's one of those people where the masses will come and say, listen guys, you should get a BlackBerry. And Tevin's like, dude, I got a BlackBerry like 9 months ago. I'm already like BBMing for like life, And I think the fact that he's almost one step ahead of a curve, people will be like, we should start this alliance of X, Y, and Z. And he's like, dude, I don't all got my alliance locked in. So really high on Tevin's gameplay. I think the fact that he's one move ahead, like you're saying, if you want to use the chess analogy, and I think he's ahead of a curve. He's almost knowing where the game is going and placing himself into that position. And I think that's great for his gameplay.
A very, very dangerous player. Now, Stacey Lee and Jean, the discussions which they've had and their alliance or not an alliance, Lem, what's your take on that?
Look, they had this discussion where John went to Stacey Lee and said, listen, we're major alerts on the radar, red flags, people are zoning in on us. And she said, you know what, we play it down, be cool, let's just go back and play it safe, which is the right move in my opinion. And Stacey Lee she replied with the exact opposite answer. She said, you know what, if you're not for me, you're against me. And I think that's not what she should have done. Do you agree?
Well, I am for you in this one. Yes, Stacey Lee then went out with the so-called, almost like they said, the axis of evil mentality, the divide and conquer mentality, and say, let's find out what's going for
like
what.
Like an axis of evil, like a bit of a Donald Trump kind of vibe.
Yes, and
if you're not for America, you are against America.
Yes, so and exactly that, and it's too early in the game to go and, see who's for me, who's against me. Just take a step back. That was Jean's original game plan, and see what's going for what. What is Martinez doing? What's he up to? What is Varner doing? What's PK doing? What's Marushka doing? See what is happening. Take it step by step. Don't go out, divide and conquer, guns blazing. 9 out of 10 times, it won't work out for you.
Yes, definitely, I agree. And I think, they had this homing missile zooming in on them. And I think John did the wise thing, saying, let's just take a step back. Let's just take the target off our backs. Stacey was like, no, I'm going to fight this out. But we'll get to that later. Hannes, next up, we get to this whole, this juicy steak we can digest on this podcast. And that is this immunity immunity challenge, which the Mindanao tribe said, you know what, we're going to throw it. Do you agree with the strategy or not? Because there's a lot of social media debate on this.
I've seen Survivor strategies backfire. I've seen in my life watching Survivor some of the worst game plans, individually as well as in a tribe. This comes down to one of the worst. Let's just think about it logically for 1 second, Lem. In sport, you always want to have momentum. Momentum breeds momentum. Momentum feeds momentum. And you want to push your opponents down. You want to be on top. They said, well, we're going to lose on purpose. Not only is it unethical, but it's so against the spirit of the game. That is just one of my thoughts. But I mean, I have 1,000 now, going through my head. What's your take on it? It makes me mad, Yes.
It also makes me mad. Look, you're talking from the emotional side of morale, stepping down with people. I agree and concur 100%. Another thing you should not all take out of a picture. At the moment, they were up. The Mindanao tribe were up 9-7. Okay, they could have been, if they stepped down of these people and, like you say, cross with dreams, they could have been up 9-6. Going into merge or swap, they had a 3-number advantage. So they had a massive thing they can work with. Now they're going into the merge, throwing the challenge or merge or whatever. They're going in 8-7. So not only are they giving the opponents a morale boost, they're also giving them a number boost. I agree with you. Very bad gameplay on their part.
And for me, I don't see any logical upside to it. I mean, I haven't thought that long about it, but even if you just think about it and you consider it for 5 minutes, I don't see any upside. It's not like a decision where you say, this is the advantages of taking course A, this is the disadvantages of course A, this is the advantages of course B, the disadvantages of course B. No, I don't see any realistic upside for them. They threw the challenge against the spirit of the game. Bad sportsmanship, really.
One other thing I want to point out, they had that whole the first reward challenge where there was these 2 immunity idols and there's this big spotlight zoning and everybody knows, okay, Varner has one, the other team has one. If you force Luzon back to Tribal Council, you can say, okay, Varner or whoever had the idol, you know how to play it. So, you can almost, I want to say, flush one of us out of the game. Now you threw your own challenge, and when you get into the merge or as a swap, we'll get to that later, now you're in a situation where one of these people still have your idol. You could have got rid of that idol by just playing it safe. Now, with however the cards are dealt now, you now have in the back of your mind, these people playing against us from the Luzon tribe, they still have an idol in their position. Who has it? What's going on? And it brings back to my previous point. Information is key. And you had the information that an idol, you could have flushed it out. You did not do it. We can see how the season plays out, but I think this was a massive blunder on their team. And yeah?
No, I agree with you. I wanted to say, shall we continue?
Yeah, I think let's just get to the Tribal Council. Now, we had this Tribal Council, a massive thing happening, a lot of stuff happening. First off, you said you have some opinions on Varner and Martinez.
Well, yes, Martinez, it's not all, black and white. It's not an investec advertisement. Survivor is a lot of grey. You don't know where you are in the game at any given moment. Alliances will form, alliances will break. You will gain people's trust, people will stab you in the back. That is the nature of the game. That's point 1. Point 2, I think Varner did throw Martinez under the bus. It was a bad gameplay by Varner, again also only in my opinion, to go and say, well, I think I'm safe, but Martinez here next to me, It was bad game plan, and according to me and how I interpreted it, they were in a fairly solid alliance. Now, what's your take?
I agree with you, and I think it brings me back to my previous point of information. When Niku asks you a question, or whoever the host is, in this case Niku, you have to answer, but you don't have to answer honestly. The best answer Varner could have said was, I'm safe in my alliance, this guy's safe in my alliance, hey, he's safe in the alliance, our alliance is safe. But he did not do that. And it brings me back to, why would you divulge that information? Why would you say, you know what, I think I'm safe, Niku, but this guy next to me, Martinez, I don't think he's safe. Why would you do that?
Or, yes, it doesn't make sense, but, or in the alternative, you can say, listen here, Niku, Jeff, whoever the host is, we are 9 people here at Tribal Council. Nobody is safe. That is how the game works.
Exactly,
nobody is safe.
Exactly, I agree with you.
Varner, did not play that so smart. He survived, yes he did, but he really didn't play it smart. Again, and at the Tribal Council you could have seen, for me the smartest player was Devin. He is smooth like a snake. I'm beginning to like him more and more every day.
I'm also getting high on Devin. But yeah, like I say, Varner, he started with that whole conversation, and in the end he had Martinez voting for him. I mean, his closest ally, the one guy who said, listen, you're safe, actually turned and voted for him. It's not ideal for me, his case.
It might be an emotional vote in the heat of the moment, not properly applying your mind. I mean, there's a lot of emotions going through the player's head at that stage. We're sitting here at home watching it, drinking our coffee, whatever. We are not there in the heat of the moment. But be that as it may, Varner played it bad. And the thing is, he had Martinez's trust. Now he lost it. So he'll have to regain that trust, and trust is earned in this game.
I agree, trust is, and I think I do think Varner will be able to regain it. I think he's a smooth enough player to do that. I just think he made a blunder, and it brings me once again back to my earlier point of information is key. Don't give out that information that they're voting for. You're just alienating your own allies. Now Anders, we're getting to the big discussion point. If social media is blazing up, Stacey Lee, I'm going to ask you a question. You can just answer yes or no and give your feedback. Did she quit the game? What's your take?
It's a very difficult one to answer. When we saw she told everyone that, yeah, she is not feeling well, I immediately thought, maybe this is a good gameplay, you know, perhaps try and rally a few troops in and say, I'm feeling bad, everybody votes for me, and then back at the ranch. Meanwhile, back at the ranch, you go blindside someone like Jean or Marushka or Tony, someone like that. Did she quit? I think it is a quit.
Look,
she actively went out and said, listen, I'm not here to play the game. Almost like a surrender, you know, like if you raise the white flag in whatever computer game you play.
I think it's a matter of, you know, mutton being dressed as lamb, you know, which one is it really? The matter of fact for me is she said, listen, I don't want to be here anymore. And in the exit interview, she actually said, I'm relieved that this is over. And listen, if you've got a couple of bucks lying around, I'm saying right now, take your money, invest in Panasonic, because a lot of people were throwing their shit at the TV, breaking down the television, saying, I could have been that person on TV. I could have played Survivor. This girl doesn't want to be there. And people, especially on Twitter and social media, people are angry at her. Not were, they are. They're saying, I could have been that person. And we saw a tape. She had a lot of effort putting into it, audition tape. She wants to be on the show. And then you say after, 9 days, I don't want to be here anymore.
Yes. Look, again, let the people tweet us what their thoughts are. Did she quit? Technically, she was voted out. I mean, she got the most votes at Tribal Council, so technically she was voted out. But again, give us your tweets, tell us what you think. One thing I do want to say is that Nico played it very smooth. When the whole issue came up, no, medically I'm not fit to play. And he immediately said, listen, yeah, we cleared you for a medical, 10, 12 days ago.
Nico handled that
he played it
He put the
very,
ball back
very
in
well.
the court and said, listen, we're not wrong. You're the person being wrong at the moment.
Yes, so I see it as a quit, and again, it's bad gameplay. It's against the spirit of a game. You know, it really gives you a sour taste in your mouth.
No, definitely leaves you a sour taste. I see on Twitter we've got a guy. What's his name? Brandon Boyson saying, you know what, I've gone through the casting process and they told me last minute I didn't make it. And I think Brandon is feeling the same thing that we're feeling. You know, people go through a lot of effort to get on this game show, and then somebody just said, no, I don't want to be here, I'm going to go home, you know, there's no aircon here, I'm hungry. Definitely not something that I think is gonna impress the people. Definitely not the fans. Yeah, I think, honest, anything else you want to discuss in this episode? Because I've got one big thing I still want to point out, but unless you've got something else, I want to make my statement. I'm
listening. What do you have to say?
So you remember last week we did this podcast, and you can go back and watch it or listen to it. I predicted at 15 they're gonna the tribe swap 3 tribes of 5, and now we're in that position. Okay, Nico said, you know, next week drop your buffs, boom, and okay, I'm gonna spill the beans. I saw it on Bravo, and they had a challenge with a yellow team going in. Kudos to the Bravo people, actually having it. So now we're in a situation with 3 tribes of 5. Look, this Mindanao people actually have a number, so they've got a statistical advantage, but things might go down south of them because they've now voted out one of their own. They've child one of their own people. Is there anything that this coming swap that you're excited about, or you think can change up the game going forward?
Yes, Lem. I don't really think Mindanao, because they have numbers, they're in a stronger position. If it's now 3 tribes of 5, the game gets reset at 0-0. It's a whole new dimension. You will be definitely in a tribe with people whom you don't know, who are previously from Luzon, Mindanao, be that as it may. Again, you need to build new alliances, again, earn trust, and again, almost play the game. Say it's day 10 when the new tribes happen, or day 11, we will see, as if it is day 1. So back to base, 0-0. Let's see what's going to happen. I think it's going to be very interesting, and credit for the producers. They're really keeping it interesting. I like it.
Yeah, I agree. I think KakeNet and the people involved, not KakeNet, Mnet, sorry.
Mnet.
And all those people involved are doing a good job. Niku and also LaRue, those guys behind the scenes.
If we were, Lem, sorry for interrupting you. If we were professional podcasters, then we could have edited out the CakeNet part. So apologies to all. We're not professionals.
Yeah,
Yes, you wanted to say.
We keep the mistakes.
Yes, we keep the mistakes. Yes, you wanted to say.
Yeah, no, I'm just saying I'm very hyped on this season. I think it's exciting. Is there any specific person you think is at a good point in this point just before we tie and bow on this podcast?
We've discussed it. I think Tevin is in a very strong
anybody
position.
beside Tevin who you think is in a good position?
Varner is in a strong position, and I think personally Tom and Shanae is in a good position.
Yeah.
The four of them, I'd say, is at the moment the best placed strategically in the game.
I agree with you 100%. I also think we had a blick of Tony actually, in Tribal Council, like, what's going on? Do this, do that. I think Tony, she seems like one of those people, she's like a doctor, always having a finger on the pulse. And I think I'm very excited to see she doesn't have any of his like big guns, also not like a massive alliance or idol or something. But I'm definitely hyped on seeing a gameplay. Okay. Honest, I think that's about that. Do you think we should wrap it up?
Yes, Lem, it's been great. Next week we'll have a lot to discuss again. All of the best, eh?
Yeah, okay. As we said in the middle of this podcast, if you want to contact us, you can get Honest at JHLadham on Twitter. Just tweet him all your stuff. You can get me at @the_lame, or if you're English, at @die_lame. And then you can use the hashtag #DissectWithLem. You can give us your feedback there.
And Instagram.
Yes, we've created the Instagram profile as well.
We don't know how it works still, but we're learning.
It's
every
like
day.
a baby learning to walk, watching this. Like Anna said, we've got day jobs as well, so we're still figuring it out. Yes, very excited about this game. And a lot of people phoning me. I'm sitting there in a meeting at work and my phone rings. I'm like, I'm hoping it's a telemarketer, maybe somebody wishing to sell me a timeshare. And it's like, hey Lem, where can I get your podcast? So if you don't know how to get our podcast, you can get it on YouTube. We've got a YouTube channel, the DissectWithLem channel. Just subscribe to the channel. If you subscribe, then you actually get the notifications. You can also get it on Podbean, which is the site we're hosting it, and you can actually download it through iTunes. A lot of people did not know that. I told them you can get it through iTunes. They're like, wait, what? You got an iTunes account? I'm like, yes, bro, we got an iTunes account. So you go iTunes, search DissectWithLem, all the stuff's on there. You can get both this podcast, the Survivor one, as well as a breakdown of the Soccer World Cup. A lot of discussing happening that side. Hannes, any last words before we close this out?
I have none. All of the best. Over and out.
Okay, cool. That's right, folks. You heard it here. Over and out. Cheers. Have a good day. Good night. Whenever you're listening to this. Bye-bye.